Hello everybody and welcome to a brand new series of Vintage Survival. Many people requested this, so I thought, fantastic idea, we shall bring it back. So it's not Survival Challenge, even though we do start off with not very much money. Yes, we can use a worker and we can hire things and all that sort of stuff. So standard gameplay, just with vintage machinery. Anyway, we have just inherited a farm, just here. And as you can see, it's quite overgrown. So let's open the gate to our property. After you. After you. I think he wants me to show him how to open a gate. There we go. So this is our brand new property, which we've just inherited, and we have £10,000 to go with it. I think we're going to need it. So this map is called Osada, at least I hope I have pronounced that correctly. I'll put the link down below for anybody else interested in downloading it. But yeah, we have this lovely vintage John Deere tractor and a cultivator and the £10,000 I mentioned, and that's it. Except for, of course, this piece of land. We do have this field here and this rough piece of farmyard. So we need to get started because we have basically no income and, well, we don't even have a crop. It's been harvested. It looks like it used to be a corn crop. It's not a bad sized field though. In fact, it's a very good sized field. So, well, I think it's obvious that we're going to have to just get it cultivated first. And then from there, I need to really think very wisely. Because we don't have a drill, and we don't have, well, we don't have anything. So, what we buy next is important. I think it's going to have to be a drill and some seed. But it would have been nice to have a trailer, so that we could maybe cut a tree down and sell a tree. But this is not going to be like Survival Challenge where we just kept cutting trees down. Mostly because we don't have many trees. We only have those. So let's just do a lap and we'll go over to those trees and take a look at them. Luckily we do have a tractor at least which has a fair amount of horsepower. I think it's about 50 horsepower. In fact, it is pulling this very easily. If only we had inherited the field with a fully grown crop in it. So it's going to be pretty strict, the vintage rule, it has to be vintage. I know that with the first series I did sort of move into modern classics, which sort of felt okay because we had progressed and we were looking for some newer and bigger stuff. But yeah, certainly at the beginning of this series we have to be, well, not very vintage, but, you know, older than 30 years. No doubt somebody will be now saying, 30 years? That's nowhere near vintage. Yes, I have to actually have some machines left to use. There is quite a good selection, but obviously it's not an unlimited supply of machinery. Right, so this is our boundary. That's somebody else's field just there. But we do own all of the land where the trees are and the piece of overgrown yard. We do have a house as well. I've sort of been so excited to get cracking that I've just gone straight into the field with the cultivator. I will do a bit more cultivating first and then we will have a yard tour. I've not really seen it myself. But I must make clear that if you were to start this map yourself, this yard will have sheds in it and it won't be all overgrown. That is all part of this roleplay. Okay, right, so yeah, not a bad amount of trees there. We've got some fairly large ones as well. But we will have to probably transform that piece of land to make it more productive. Or we could just keep those trees there and then plant some more. That would also be a good idea. Okay, right, that's the first lap done. As I said, I want to get quite a bit of cultivating done first, so let's just get going with this and then we can have a quick yard tour. actually, in a way, it's a good job that we had to cultivate the field first, because it's shown me what the limits are of this tractor. It really doesn't mind pulling this cultivator downhill, but uphill, it's a bit more of a struggle. Seems to be losing traction. You can actually put some wider tyres on this tractor, so we might have to go for that upgrade in the future. But yeah, obviously we're going to be wanting to get a tractor with a front loader and all that sort of stuff before too long. Okay, I think that's probably enough for now. Let's go and have a tea break. Need to start looking at the different machines that are available. The used seed drills. And over the course of the next, well, maybe 50 episodes, I don't know, we're going to be really transforming this yard. So to begin with, we have some sheds, which actually is more than what we had in Series 1. Well, actually we did have a shed, but we couldn't go in it. So it's nice to have a storage shed. And we do actually have some lights as well, which is quite a bonus. That is very nice, especially if we're working late, when it's gone dark. So, yep, and a very nice wooden shed just there, which I know is going to come in handy. Obviously we don't have a grain silo, so we'll probably have to tip some grain into there, eventually. That is the neighbour just over there, but it is for sale. So if we ever want to buy some more sheds, we can do. It's a bit overgrown, but obviously we want to expand. I can't really go in there because it's not ours, but as you can see, well, if I didn't walk into a shrub. Yeah, some nice big sheds. Looks very nice. More land. So yeah, the potential is there to expand in the future. But first, we're really going to have to sort our own yard out. You can see once it used to be quite nice. Looks like it used to be gravel, but all the weeds and the shrubs have started to grow through. And this is our house. The house isn't too bad, it's been looked after. The yard hasn't. So obviously we can rest there, we can eat here. Not a bad place. Okay, so that is our yard. I did say it was going to be a fairly short tour. It's not very big, but we have got the potential here to really make this area nice and to expand. I reckon it might actually be good to expand this field into here, but one step at a time. We can't just do it all in one go. First, for this first year, we need to get a crop into this field so that we can then make some money. I think probably that and some trees to make the first bit of money. But I don't want to take too many trees down. They're nice. After a quick flick through the local classified adverts, I have discovered a Case 5100 drill. And it costs £6,000. There is a problem. It requires 60 horsepower. Our tractor is 50. But to be honest, nobody else around here is selling anything, so we're probably going to have to go with this. So I don't want anybody else to snap it up first, so although we haven't finished cultivating, I think we should probably buy this. So that's our first £6,000 gone. We have £4,000 remaining, so quite scary, but well, obviously we have to buy some seed as well. There's no other option. Okay, so let's finish off this cultivating. At this rate, we might even be able to get all of the crop drilled today. That would be lovely. I just hope this tractor can pull it. I suppose if the worst comes to the worst, what we'll have to do is only drill going downhill. But I'm hoping it won't come to that, because I don't think that drill is PTO powered or anything. So as long as the tractor can propel itself, we should be alright. It's a very nice map, this. It took me some time to be able to find the right map for Vintage Survival. There weren't too many to choose from actually, but this one stood out to me. I reckon we're going to be sticking with this cultivator for quite a few years. Seems good, and it is better because it does have the double roller on the back, so it's breaking the soil down nicely, ready for us to drill. Really, I think when you look at the size of this cultivator, it's quite amazing this tractor can pull it as well as it does. It is probably a foot wider either side, or maybe half a foot wider. It's only uphill we really struggle. Anyway, yes, once we have done this, we can go and pick up our drill and buy some seed. I think for this year, we're certainly going to have to rent the harvester. I'm hoping the local dealer will have a combine for us to use. Hopefully it won't be too expensive. And luckily, because most of the fields around here are quite small, they probably will have a smallish machine. We don't want to be buying or renting a massive combine for our little field. That would be a bit much, and a waste of money. Oh, a few corn stalks left there. Just get rid of them. Good. Right, well, I think it's time to put our cultivator in the shed. And it's been very well cared for, this cultivator. As you can see, somebody's been painting the tines and the rollers on the back with red oxide, preserving them so they don't go rusty. Actually, we could probably, because they're two different sized doors, we probably could just use that door for most of the jobs. I shall open this door instead. Put it into the corner. And there we go. Right, so I don't actually know where the dealer is, so I'm going to have to check my map. As you can see, it is a decent size map. Lots of fields, and there are some bigger ones if we ever wanted to expand that much. Like field 65 there looks huge. So yeah, the dealer. Where do I pick up my drill from? They're down here. So it's not too far to go, which is nice. Just around the corner, up here, and that's where we're going to. So we'll jump back onto the tractor, and we'll get going. And I'm not going to jump cut. I think it'd be very nice to show the various places on this map. You can see it's very well detailed. It looks such a nice place to live. Many places to sell different products as well. And I'm sure at some point we'll be able to buy some animals. I'm not too sure which animals we're going to go for. I suppose it would make sense to have pigs, because I haven't actually owned pigs properly on FS22, although they're probably not the most profitable ones for us. But we'll see. Also, because it's not flat, we get this lovely rolling countryside view, which I think is beautiful. Right, one car. Right when we were about to turn. That is so typical. It's so typical in real life as well. Like, you have nearly no vehicles, and then exactly where you're going to turn or exactly where you're going to pull out, there just happens to be a car. Oh dear, that's life, I guess. Anyway, the dealer should be here somewhere. Here they are. Oh, it's a Zeta dealer. Some people pronounce it Zeta. Personal preference. I just prefer to call it Zeta. And they've prepared our drill for us. Now I've seen it in real life, or in person I should probably say. Yeah, it looks quite big. Oh, I really hope we can pull this. The only other thing we could do is rent a tractor, but of course that's more expense, and we really don't want to be doing that. That is huge. Crikey. Well, we can certainly buy the seed. The good thing about this drill is you can also apply fertilizer, so we can do 2 in one go, and it also means we don't have to buy a spreader, at least not yet. Oh, that's nice. One bag was more than enough. So yeah, although that's quite an expense, the fertilizer and the seed should last for maybe 2 or 3 years. Well, for that one field. I'm hoping to expand. So that's 830 litres for both hoppers. We are going to have to retrieve those bags though. So, I don't know, maybe we can get a rear pallet fork that goes on the 3-point linkage. I think we're a little way off buying a front loader tractor. But at some point we're going to have to. Anyway, yes, crop types. What crop shall we put in? Need to think very carefully here. Has to make it worthwhile. I reckon... Oh, what should I put in? Sorghum? Maybe sorghum? Actually, oats seem quite good. I'll put oats in. And this is why it's tough, because we have such a small area, and we've got all the expenses, and we've got to rent a harvester just for one field. That makes it very expensive for one field. But what can we do? We're going to have to transform the rest of the yard. Okay, I'm just trying to get past this car without scratching it, and without demolishing road signs. Oh crikey, this is going to get tricky. Sorry, van. There we go. Yeah, we've got to be careful. Because, yeah, despite it being a small tractor, we're still taking up the entire road. What a lovely map. Big straw stack in there, looks a bit overgrown. Okay, I'm not sure if we're going to get through our gate. Maybe we will. We could have just gone straight into the field though, which might have been a better idea. Well, it gets us out of the way. The traffic, we're getting a bit impatient. Let me know what you think we should do with this yard, because it is at the moment wasted space. We do need a yard area, so I think all the area which is currently gravel should remain gravel, but this sort of muddier area, we need to do something with it. Okay then, so I'm going to start across the top here. Let's hope we can pull this. It's working, but we really could do with a bigger tractor on it. Sometimes you've just got to make do. It was either this or using a very small one, which I guess for this size field wouldn't have been too bad, but it would have still taken a long time, and then we would have had to buy another one anyway for the future when we really expand. Okay, well, it seems to be going to plan. I will see if I can get the entire field drilled. Let's hope for the best. Progress is very good. So, the next problem. Finding the money to actually be able to harvest the field. We have £1,380. We want to be really having more than that. I mean, we can't just sit around waiting for this to grow. It's going to be a while. So I think the best thing to do is to buy a chainsaw and maybe buy a trailer, most likely rent a trailer, a small trailer, because then we can transport some logs to the lumberyard. We can make some money. and then using that money from the trees, we can then hopefully rent the combine and whatever else is required, and also hopefully do some work down in the main yard there. Now, Vintage Survival is only going to be once a week currently. I think this is for the best, because then I can read your feedback and we can sort of build this series together. Because if I just keep doing videos back to back, by the time I've read the comments from one video, I'll have already recorded the next video. So doing it this way gives me pretty much a week to plan the next episode. And then Survivor Challenge will still be as a weekend, although I might move those days around. It might be Friday and Sunday, or Friday and Saturday for Survivor Challenge, and then Vintage Survival might be a Sunday. Haven't fully decided yet, but we will see. And then eventually, as I keep saying, Survivor Roleplay will be replacing Survivor Challenge. It's made a big difference putting into the manual shifting. I think that is part of the problem, just constantly trying to find the best gear. Automatic shifting can be good, but not always. So gear 2, in the second range by the look of it. Perfect. It's probably already quite an achievement to have a drill of this size. Probably never will replace it. I can imagine having this for the entire series. Oh look, we've got some deer in the woods. See, I don't want to ruin that. I don't want to get rid of the trees and then have no wildlife. So we need to make money, but at the same time we want to have a nice, beautiful surrounding. Oh, I've scared the deer. Whoops. Don't worry, dear. Anyway, there we go. The field is done. So this is going to have to go in the shed as well. We can't afford to have our machinery left out in the rain. Just realised what I just said. It's probably not even going to fit. Yeah, I don't know if it has a hitch that you can put on the end. I think it's too old, this model. In fact, actually, it's probably only just allowed in this series. What would this be? 90s? If we call it 1990, then at least it's 32 years old. I said anything over 30, but somebody would come along and tell me it's 96 or something. Yeah, so it's not going to fit. So this really makes me think we should have like a Dutch barn. Something open, but with shelter. And the best place to have that is in this area, but we've got to get rid of all this brush first of all. So that is a job that needs to be done fairly soon. Let's for now just go and put it over here. Hopefully I don't lose it. Luckily it's red, so you can't really miss it. Right, so I'm going to get the chainsaw. We can't rent chainsaws, so we are going to have to spend £1,000 on a chainsaw. Unless somebody's doing a deal. And then we should cut down the trees, the only trees that are going to make us the most money. So this one, such a shame though, and this one. We're going to have to replace them in the future. But if we took those two down, we'll probably make quite a bit. Just having a cup of tea. It's my second one. And I found an old chainsaw. Here it is. £500. So half the amount I thought it was going to be. So we're now left with £880, which is not too bad, because we should make quite a bit of money from these trees, from the lumber. Right, so I don't want to crush any of the trees. If I can send this one, I don't want to put it on the freshly drilled crop actually, and I can't really fell it onto the neighbour's land. So yeah, if I can maybe fell it through that gap, because it's more of a diagonal, it won't go on the field as much, then that'd be good. And I'm not concerned about stumps at this point. Oh, big tree. Well, let's take these branches off. I think the reason why the money's going down is because we're paying for fuel. That would be my guess anyway. Right. So, we don't want to make... Well, I don't know what size trailer is going to go onto. Let's just cut it here. And then probably cut it here. We can pick heavy things up. But not quite to the extent that we can do on other Let's Plays. So we can't pick up anything. But we are probably stronger than the average person. So I think probably cut them to that sort of length. It makes them manageable. And they should fit into a smaller trailer. Obviously, as the diameter increases, so will the weight. So we'll probably have to make these a little bit smaller. It's a good chainsaw. And yeah, we'll just put them in a nice, neat pile. Stack them up. Ready for next time. So if we can just either buy a trailer or rent a trailer at the beginning of the next episode, and then take these to be sold, we should then be set up to do something else. And also we'll have to find out how much the combine is going to be to rent. But I don't think it'd be too much. We'll probably have to set aside about £3,000. Can we make £3,000 though? That's too heavy. Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully it won't be 3. No, these are all too heavy. Much too heavy. I'm going to have to halve, at the very least, all of them. But then once that's done, we can make a stack. My stack is the total opposite to what most people's stacks would be. The small ones at the bottom, and the big heavy ones on top. Yeah, okay, well, that's good. It's quite a lot of wood. We've got this one too, which seems to be stood upright. I'm not too sure what happened to that. Seems to have glitched. Yeah, it would seem so. Well, yeah, that log was glitched. I'm not too sure what was wrong with it, but it's gone now. Let's just see if I can cut this a bit lower, get another piece off it. And then, yeah, stumps are going to have to just wait. There we go. Not much, but probably still worth a little bit of money. So this is all ready now for the trailer. I think we'll leave through the tree, just because I don't know exactly what's happening, but at least it's there as potential money in the future. So please do give me feedback on how things are going and what you think we should do next. This is the biggest concern, this area here, because we need some yard, this piece here, but we probably don't need all of this. So we could extend this area into this area a bit, but there's definitely the potential to make money from this area. So, thank you so much for watching, hopefully you've enjoyed it, and until next week, see you again very soon. Bye for now.